What you are about to hear is highly classified. Pay attention and listen at all times. And most importantly, remember, a man is only as good as the skills that he possesses. Or the super soldier serum that he's injected with. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering Zone 4. And welcome back to The Zone. I'm Brant Fowler.
I'm John Wilson.
I'm Chuck Moore.
I'm Frank Rayner.
Yeah, not Bill Gladden.
So where is Bill? What is the story of Bill?
Bill's feeling a little under the weather.
Oh,
okay.
He said that everything's fine, but he's got a little bit of a procedure coming up next week. But he's been feeling under the weather because of what's been going on with him. But he's doing well.
Okay.
I do have one Bill Gladman disclaimer, though. I have to tell you guys up front before I forget. He wants me to let you know that he is not an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fanatic. He just likes what's been going on the second half. We can pick that up later on.
Okay.
But I need to pick that now before I forget.
Okay.
Okay.
See, Frank went all serious. Like Brant always in the old days would come up with these fantastic, he was abducted by Aquaman and stuck on a trident out on the moon or something.
Well, yeah, I thought he was wearing a tutu and skating around an ice rink right now, but that's just me.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Who knows?
Yes.
I can talk to him today, and I felt bad, so I don't have it in myself to make fun of him just yet, but let me work myself up to that.
Okay. Nipple jokes can wait an hour. I gotcha.
There you go.
Well, hey, I've had Conrad for a week, so,
That's true.
unless he's dying, I have no sympathy for him.
All right, so yeah, go ahead, Chuck. Sorry.
That's it. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Before we go on any further, we should mention that we are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. You can find Zone 4 every Friday over on comicspodcasts.com. I always have trouble getting those S's in there. But you can find us over there, as well as Hall of Toys, as often as we put that out, which is once upon a time bi-weekly, once upon a time monthly, and now just whenever we do it. So there you go.
And I will say, just to tease the audience a little bit, that I'm Chuck. I was I was the originator of Comic Related. I did a podcast here at Comic Related for 300 episodes called The Related Recap, and there may be a podcast that I'm submitting to the Comic Podcast Network soon. So, yes. So we'll talk about that when we pimp our stuff later.
Awesome. And there are several other comic related podcasts on that network as well. Yeah. So definitely go check it out. There are tons of podcasts over there to listen to and take up all your time driving and walking and whatever else you do when you're listening to podcasts. We don't need to know all those details though. And we do have a couple of sponsors this week.
Sponsor of the week.
First of all, of course, as always, audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com/zone4podcast, you can get a free 30-day trial and a free book download, and using that link does help the show out tremendously, so please do that.
Yeah. Two quick things. Mm-hmm. One, if your listeners don't know it, one cool thing about audible.com is there's a ton of books out there that don't exist in audio book format outside of audible.com. So a lot of old sci-fi stuff that they're really great about cataloging and bringing in like the history of books that aren't available. So, you can find stuff there. I'm a proud member of Audible. I absolutely love that service. And the fact that if you buy a book like on Kindle app, whether it's iPad or Kindle, and you're listening to it on Audible, it'll pick up the spot where you are if you're switching back and forth between audio and reading. Is just the coolest freaking feature on this earth. So anyway, sorry, just throwing that in.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. And they also have like a bunch of deals all the time. Like they have a daily deal. Like today's daily deal, 99 cents. I know we have a lot of Doctor Who fans that are listeners and on the show, of course. Doctor Who Dead Air, which is actually narrated by David Tennant.
That's awesome.
For 99 cents today. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is.
All right, and our other sponsor is C2E2. You can learn more at c2e2.com, convention that Comic Related has been going to since its inception, since C2E2's inception, I should say.
Yes.
And it takes place, of course, in Chicago, Illinois on April 25th through 27th. Comic Related will have a presence there. We'll have our regular tables. John, I believe, will be there, at least. I don't know about Chuck.
I am absolutely going to be there. I've never missed one. I've been to every. Wow. I think I've been to every C2 too. John?
Yeah, Brian, give Chuck some credit. Brian, he never misses one.
I've only been to one.
Well, no, I got to ask, John. Have you ever had to go by yourself?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. I thought I'd always been to C2E2.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't totally sure. I thought there might have been 1 year you didn't, but
now there are times that it does feel like Inception when I'm there, but it's such a freaking amazing big show. But it is great.
Do you Chuck happen to know Comic Related's table numbers? I know we have them. I just keep forgetting to look them up before.
I do not. Okay. I do know there are 3 of them. We have 24 feet of table space again. I think we're in Podcast Alley next to Cinema Jaw, one of the new additions to this Comic Related podcasting network. They have a table there. There's a lot of people that are part of our family that are going to be there set up as well. So, yeah.
And I was just talking to our extra-essential photographer.
Yeah, Nikki.
At the show. Nikki Forte will be there in addition to all our other comic-related photographers.
Yeah. She's actually a pro photographer too. I think I saw she's doing a tour, and she's actually offering, like, if people want to do professional photography sessions at C2E2, I think that you can coordinate that through Nikki and her website too.
Oh, very cool. And I just looked it up, and I do actually have our table numbers finally.
Sweet.
It's D1, D2, and D3 in Podcast Alley. So.
Oh wow. Yeah. No D4, man. Where's my geek on?
Nice. Maybe that's where Cinema Jaw is.
Maybe. Who knows? Oh, no. There's the One Shot podcast is going to be set up there, and they are a gaming podcast that guest stars on Cinema Jaw sometimes, but they actually live play role playing. So if they're at D4, that would make total sense.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well, wait a minute. You need to put a disclaimer out there, because I just need to let you all know for the Springfield, Dayton area, any sort of cosplay at any of the conventions, there will be no werewolf covenants of people who kidnap young people and hide them out in Springfield who pretend to be werewolves. I need to put that out there, because every time I go to a convention now, they're asking me, are there werewolf covenants there? And I have to tell them no.
Wow.
I totally don't get that
random. Look it up in the Springfield, Dayton area, and look at the news that made national headlines.
Yeah, Frank. I actually talked to Frank recently, and he told me all about this, and I was like, "Wow,
that's crazy." Okay.
A gentleman kidnapped a young girl, and it turned out he had his own werewolf covenant with his own set of followers. They all dressed up in the parks around here, and they all role play. So every time I go to a convention now, they're like, "Hey, are there werewolf covenants there?" I'm like, "No, but thank you."
Oh, that's wild.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. So again, c2e2.com, and please come see us at the tables. Go ahead, John.
If you're chased by werewolves at the con, run to the comic-related table. We'll save you.
Yeah. Dan Royer and Amy are going to be there. I think Gordon's going to be floating around the table. You're going to see a whole lot of Jenny Tonic's going to be with me. The Mini Tonics will be with us. So there'll be a whole lot of CR family there.
The Mini Tonics.
Mini Tonics.
We referred to them as that for years.
No, I've never heard it.
Yeah.
The shot glass kids.
You got it.
Awesome.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yes.
So that's it for our sponsors, and I'm sure we'll mention those again towards the end of the show.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so we should talk about some stuff.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's do it. And well, we talk. No, this is going to be a more loose format for all you listeners out there. It's not going to be like your headlines, topic time kind of thing. We really wanted to talk about some specific things because it's kind of buzzing. Summer's coming up, all the blockbuster films and everything, and Marvel just had this special and everything. So we wanted to kind of talk about that, and so that's what we're going to do. First of all, did everybody get a chance to watch the Marvel Studios Assembling a Universe special?
Oh, you mean the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. DVD extras show? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I had not seen, that was all new to me. I mean, aside from the stuff that, they clip from movies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've seen it start to finish.
Yeah.
Twice, actually.
I had not seen it either because I don't have a Blu-ray player and all the special features are always on the Blu-ray. So even if I have the Blu-ray, I can't watch the features. So. But Frank, did you get to watch it?
Yeah, and, I got to tell you, I was actually, let me ask you guys this question real quick in lieu of the special. They talk about the movies having to cater to the general public to make money and not to the fanboys. But is it not surprising, even after watching that special, that so much of the fanboy stuff they're injecting into the series and the movies is causing such a big causing such a good positive commotion?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rewarding, actually.
It is. Yeah, I think they are realizing, and to my surprise, I can't believe Whedon didn't know this right off the bat, but that you can appeal to a mass audience in your overall style, but still reward the fanboys. And I think that's why you're seeing such a change in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now. Because I think they are rewarding the fanboys along with the general audience. They're presenting a mainstream television show, but now they're working in those little extra elements that we've all been pissed off. And that has won me over completely.
Because my complaint, and I know I've talked with John and Brad before on a previous zone, my complaint about the thing was I hated the whole 18 Light script where everyone was kind of ha-ha and reserved, and everyone was doing the normal set of different types of characters, but no real emotion. And I'm finding myself that what's made the second half better, besides the fanboy stuff, is that they're actually cutting loose a little more emotionally. People are not just acting, very, very scripted. There's a little more rawness to it.
Yeah. Well, I think you can attribute a little bit of that to the gun shyness of Whedon. I mean, when you had Buffy and Angel back in the day, of course he jumped right into an arc from the beginning. And then when he got burnt with Firefly and came back with Dollhouse for the first season was very A-team, one-off, no real deep arc, little hints at a deeper arc, but nothing really came. It's like he didn't feel like he was going to get a series that he could mature, so he pulled back. And I feel like in the first half of this season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we saw a continuation of that almost nervousness that the network's going to kill me as soon as I get out of the gate. It's like he does. It's almost like he has a resistance to telling a deeper story until he knows he's going to have time to tell that story.
Right.
Yeah, I never looked at it that way, but it makes total sense. And
yeah.
Stop fucking up with Chuck, Brian. It's only the first 10 minutes.
But it's the difference being, of course, Dollhouse being a completely unknown and completely unproven entity, and where anything based in the Marvel universe was very well known by that point. So
yeah. Well, you got to admit, though, that comes with its own shortcomings. Because yes, Dollhouse was unknown and he had more to prove, but at the same time, he had less to lose. I mean, my God, the reaction that in certain communities, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got right out of the gate, I was like, holy crap, man, it's a firestorm. Yeah. Because there was such high expectations. He had more to prove, so it's kind of an equal danger, whether it's known or unknown, really.
Mm-hmm. I still say that I still feel like they were purposely kind of holding back a little bit. Some of it may have been hesitance on his part, but I still think they were kind of doing that slow build up to this point where they knew that they were going to, really hit the ground running towards, heading in towards the end or the second half and towards the end of the first season. So
yeah. And I give you. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say I've said all along that Whedon plays the long game. Yeah. He establishes his characters first, he gets the universe set up, then he starts blowing stuff up.
Yeah. I admit wholeheartly, you and John were right. John, you and Brant were right. I was wrong. I didn't believe it was coming. You guys told me it was coming. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you there.
Well, no, that's not.
A friend of mine, actually, when Bill, of course everyone knows Bill, I had to really hold Bill down to the fire to watch do this much, and and he's glad I did. But a friend of mine who used to work in Hollywood, who now lives in Columbus, said that because he worked on TV shows, he kept telling me that and he didn't go into specifics, but that there's formulas for shows. And he said, if you really want to see the meat of the show, wait till after the first half of the season. That's when it normally picks up, and it turns out he was right.
Do you have anything else to add there, John?
Did I lose everything? Okay. Yeah. What the hell?
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Okay, I was waiting to see if John was going to
Yeah, I apologize. We totally stepped on John right there. That was my fault, and then I just handed it off. I apologize, John.
That's fine. I'm here every week. You guys can let me talk.
I'm sorry, John. Did I interrupt? My bad, John.
I drank a whole pot of coffee this afternoon, so I'm like, woo, podcasting, let's go.
But all right, so going back to this assembling universe thing, even though it was kind of a DVD's extras, whatever, I don't know. For me, I got really excited by watching it because it was just, seeing how everything was constructed from the very beginning of, Marvel Studios taking all these properties into their own and not, giving them off to these other studios like they did the previous films and characters. And, kind of building up to the present point, and then, of course, then it's just kind of like little featurette trailers that they showed towards the end. But I don't know, it got me hyped up for the movies coming up this summer, so I think it did its job, at least in my case. I don't know about you guys.
I was completely excited by it.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I thought it was great. And it taught me two things I didn't know. A, I didn't really realize how much of a DIY, indie, small studio Marvel Studios were when they began, and how much everything was hanging on the first Iron Man film, and how much Hollywood refused to kind of back their play. Because this was pre-Disney. This is just, they're just coming out of, they're coming out of the bankruptcy that happened there for a while. They're rebuilding. They were untrusted, and Iron Man, which we all accept as this standardized character now, who's viewed as a B-list character that nobody really trusted. And that really surprised me. I didn't know that as much. And I was there through that whole time period, but I just kind of looked upon them as being a much bigger studio than when Axel and all them started it back in the day.
Yeah, I think it's because, they already had these successful films with Spider-Man and the X-Men. Yeah. And even though they weren't the studio that did those, you kind of made that connection. Okay, well, it's a Marvel film. Of course, they've got the money in the backing and all this stuff.
Yeah. That really kind of shocked me, and it did a really good job of painting that. And also, this building a universe feel, I mean, for me, that's what I love about comics. I love when there's a broader arc to all the different titles. And the fact that they're doing that in the film, that we now have promised that they're doing that with a television series, with the Netflix stuff that's coming. Hell, I didn't know about those little one-shots that I guess are available on YouTube. You were telling me earlier, Brant. I totally missed those. The Coulson stuff, and I guess there was a little vignette with the Mandarin before Iron Man, and there's all these little things that were kind of teased in there that I've never seen. So I'm kind of psyched to go find those. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the Agent Carter one was, I can't remember what DVD that was on, but I think that was exclusively on the Blu-ray or whatever.
Gotcha.
And the Coulsons, I don't know. I think they're all on the various Blu-rays or whatever. But I have seen the Coulson ones at least online somewhere, if it was YouTube or somewhere else. But yeah.
No, I'm thrilled to see all the movies. In fact, it's kind of I've been kind of going through a renaissance. I mean, I caught Avengers much later than the rest of the world, and I've been kind of catching up on all the movies, and I'm still one back on just about all the different series. But I find myself going back and watching. Like I just finally watched the first Wolverine movie, which I regret losing those 2 hours. But I'm digging in and watching all these movies that I've kind of been missing, and I love what they're doing when they're not total crap like Wolverine. But
well, that still is Fox, so
I'm not a.
I like the second one.
I'm not a Deadpool
Spider-Man,
fan.
So
I do like Amazing Spider-Man. It was awesome.
I do too.
No, the only thing wrong with the second Wolverine was what they made Silver Samurai. That's my only complaint about it. But anyway.
Gotcha.
So what did you think about the assembling universe, John? You kind of I don't know if you were excited about it or not.
I guess I'm too close to it. It's nothing new. It was nothing new.
Okay.
It's I knew that. I knew that, and I knew that too, and that was kind of me the whole episode. It wasn't even worth, me live tweeting about it. It's like, we knew this. You said this in interviews and videos and all this other stuff, so. But I guess it's too close to it for me. This really felt like something that was more for people who were new or were trying to catch up, or
Yeah.
I can whatever. See. I mean, like I said, I guess it's just been in there too long because I read and watch and do all this stuff when it happens. And
yeah, I can see that, especially with you being the person kind of around Comic Related who's live tweeting all these shows, and you are the guy around Comic Related for this kind of stuff, as far as I'm concerned. So.
I don't know, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you're always the one that's like sending us links to this or that, and like
here, watch this,
like the Captain America 2 tie-in trailer. Yeah, well, that too, yeah, and the other day with the tie-in to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Coming up with the second Cap movie and all that stuff. I hadn't seen any of that, so
yeah.
Because
I'm out there in the world, I guess, or in the cyber world anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. It's still I don't know. It still got me excited. I can't wait for Cap 2. I think that, or technically Captain America: The Winter Soldier, if you want to be totally correct. But I'm so excited for that movie. I've been excited for that movie since the first trailer, and I think it's just the anticipation is built up and up for that movie. It just looks amazing. And that's one thing that they said in that assembling a universe, which I think this part definitely was for non-comic fans or general audience, was the importance of the Bucky character.
Yeah.
And how he kind of plays into it, which I was kind of surprised they just came out and said, "Oh, it's Bucky."
Yeah, I was saying, what a spoiler! Because that should be any surprise for anybody.
The fans already know. I mean, the geeks already know.
Yeah.
And I guess it was definitely one of those things that it's not nearly as important who he is as his journey.
Yeah.
It's like, you remember that guy that fell in Cap 1? Well, it's him. Now let's see how he became him. You know?
That's true.
Now, I have to admit, though, I'm really curious about the execution of this film in the way that they deliver it. If this is a backstory of the Winter Soldier and they walk it through, and he's an anarchist character who comes in and is taking down society and has a deep guttural voice, if this is a mirror image of the third Dark Knight movie and Winter Soldier becomes a Marvel version of Bane through this, that's my only fear, because I get a little feel of sometimes you got to tear down society, remake it. That was kind of Bane's thing from that whole movie, and I'm kind of how much are we going to see Bucky and a heroic struggle within the character, or is this just going to be the Winter Soldier, the villain of the piece? And that's the one thing that I'm kind of curious about, because there's a framing here that is very mirror image a little bit of what went on kind of in the third Dark Knight movie.
That's a good point.
I think from what I've seen, the tearing down is going to be coming from inside S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And he's going to just be pretty much trying to kill Cap for the most part.
Okay.
Well, aren't they still saying that amongst us, because we were going to be talking about Evans, that, he keeps talking about he's going to retire, and, of course, what John alluded to, they're going to kill Cap and bring Winter Soldier as the next Cap.
I've heard that theory, too, yeah.
Because aren't they hinting at a death in Avengers 2?
They may be. I don't know.
I haven't followed close enough. I mean, there is, hints of a darkness to Avengers 2, certainly, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, I know we might as well talk about it now. Chris Evans has, kind of expressed, not just from the Marvel films, really, but he just kind of wants to take a break from acting for a while. So, I mean, it's understandable. He's got the money. He doesn't need to work. So,
right.
And, it's even though it's acting, it's a long, grueling schedule for these guys when they go on this film. So,
yeah, I say replace him. I mean, you got James Bond, you've got Batman, you've got what was that?
What the hell was that?
That was not me.
Somebody opened a beverage.
That was
too close to the mic, apparently.
Sorry. That was pouring something in a glass. Sorry.
Grant with the adult beverage.
You know what?
No.
No disrespect to Chris Evans. It must be hard being a beautiful person, having to stay in shape all the time. You know?
Yeah.
I actually know it. I mean, I imagine it is grueling. I would hate to see him go, but obviously the man's not, does not have to do this for the rest of his life.
Right. And on top of that, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is not going to be, he's said over and over again, he's not going to do this forever. So, I mean, it kind of might make sense if they just bring in new people at some point and just kind of introduce them that way.
I mean, we traded out Hawks. I mean, Banners. Bruce Banners.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sony has, Sony's replaced the FF with children, so it would seem pretty easy. But the thing with Evans is this is so common it's nearly cliche. Oh, the actor's lament. I just want to direct.
Yeah, and it's happening a lot more often.
Yeah, give me a break, dude. It's like
you got a good ride.
Yeah, you got a good ride. Yeah, you're probably going to be typecast, but you may not have the acting chops of Robert Downey Jr., but for God's sakes, ride the train until they kick you off.
Yeah.
Then you can go direct all you want.
Who else was it? Is it Jennifer Lawrence that plays Mystique in the X-Men film? She's doing the same thing. She's taking a year off after First Class or whatever. Or not First Class, but yeah.
She's got a little harder than he does. I mean, she does have to walk around in like a giant Smurf.
Yeah. Oh, it's after the third Hunger Games movie.
Yeah. Well.
But don't they get this? Don't they get that if an actor is humble and is surprised by his own celebrity and wants to be a part of anything that they'll put him in, like Coulson, I mean, they've suddenly become the fan favorite. We're rooting for him. We want him to succeed as part of the whole Marvel universe, and it's kind of a beautiful thing. And when they start being these prima donnas, I agree with what John's saying. You got a good thing going. Why are you dumping it?
Yeah, and honestly, people like Coulson Evans has only been around for less than a decade, give or take.
Right.
He doesn't have enough longevity to be complaining like this. It's not like he's to even get out of Marvel, it's not like he's a Brad Pitt or a George Clooney or, any of the guys like that who have been doing stuff for years and years and years. Some of it good, some of it crap, but and even, Coulson, today I was watching TV and Sports Night came on and he showed up on Sports Night.
Uh-huh.
And this was a good 20, 25 years ago for Sports Night. And, I was thinking, well, maybe not that long, but it was still quite a while ago. And, I was thinking, wow, to see him there and to see him now as Coulson, it's like, this is an actor. This is someone who takes the parts that come and enjoys every part he has.
Yeah.
And works at it. And, he may want to go do other stuff, but he's not going to go, oh, I got to be let out of my lucrative six-picture contract, just to run off and, direct some low-budget indie film that probably won't even make it to Cannes. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Have a little perspective here, You're no Robert Redford just because he's in your movie, Get some advice from the guy.
Yeah, it's...
I think the phrase that comes to mind is methinks thou dost protest too much.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Chris Evans has been acting since 2000, so 14 years total.
Please. Yeah.
And he's 32.
Yeah, I mean, RDJ is what? He's like pushing 50 now?
Yeah.
I can understand him not wanting to be in the big, bulky, suit and have to stand around for all the CGI and all that other crap.
Mm-hmm.
dude's getting old. It's kind of hard for him to run up and down things now, but...
Well, can I go off color for just a second? Total speculation. Yeah, total speculation. I have no inside knowledge. I don't know if this is true in any way. This is mostly done for humor. But, I look at him as the Human Torch. I look at him as Captain America. Mm-hmm. And you can only take steroids for so many years before you do have to rest for a while.
Well, yeah, that is true.
Right now, I would not want to be his testicles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Robert Downey Jr., by the way, you're correct, John. He's 48. So.
Well, see, there you go.
Well played. Well played.
And he can do other things,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of other things.
Now, what is this about Patton Oswalt? I know he's supposed to be on the show, but does anybody know what he's going to be? Have they announced that?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
He's going to be. I'm having to reboot my computer. I had to take down the thing, but he's going to be a character that was actually introduced way back in the comics, Alan Commando comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to be like one of his last name's going to be Koenig. I can't remember the first name, but
okay.
It's Ernest. He's going to be one of Fury's original Howling Commandos in the comics. Now in S.H.I.E.L.D., he's going to have to be something else because he's obviously a doughy 40-some-year-old agent. So.
Yeah,
but he's still going to have the name.
Yeah, it's Eric Koenig, and during the World War II, he's one of the original battalion. They don't really go into say what what his role is gonna be now, but he's an agent. So,
boy, there's another actor who just takes roles and kills it, and is such a likable individual, and just does such a. I'm always surprised where I can be watching the most obscure sitcom, and there comes Patton Oswalt walking across the screen. I mean, he's like always there, and he's a regular at C2E2. Like he's done stand up in the night at C2E2 a couple times over the past 5-6 years we've been there. I mean, he's out on the circuit and working it. I like Patton Oswalt a lot.
Yeah.
I was watching a movie the other day where he was just a background character. He had one line the entire movie, and the rest of the time he just sat in the background.
Yeah. It's been a couple of years now, but he was in an arc of Burn Notice.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and he played like he was a guy that gets people stuff, and he had this self-serving agenda, and he was always trying to save himself, but he was always looking to them to protect him and stuff. It was fun. So yeah.
You
guys seen in Parks and Recreation with the filibuster?
No.
Look it up on YouTube. He does the equivalent of filibuster for a local town for to stop the vote. He does a complete 9-minute monologue that includes every comic, Lord of the Rings. I mean, how he makes a Moon Knight reference, and he did it completely on the fly on YouTube.
Wow.
For people who don't know, he's a major comic book geek. I mean, he would put us to shame as far as comic book geek. He and Brian Posehn both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In fact, if you go back and watch their their comedy movie, the comedian's comedy movie, it follows them as they go to comic book stores.
Oh, wow.
At certain times and pick up their, in whatever town they happen to be in, pick up the Wednesday's comics for that particular week and talk about what they got and,
Yeah, Posehn's currently co-writing Deadpool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's happening more and more. That's happening more and more. You heard about, totally off topic, but you heard about Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman writing Batman 66.
Mm-hmm.
Green Hornet, right? So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they were talking about that on their podcast.
Going further off topic, just want to toss out, you mentioned Moon Knight. I checked out the #1 issue of Marvel's new Moon Knight with Warren Ellis writing, and I hate to say it, but that was a complete skip as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, it was okay. But
it just didn't. I was expecting them to reinvent Moon Knight, and I was hoping they would, especially in Ellis's hands, but no. I'm usually a fan of what he writes, but boy, that just didn't get me. Okay, sorry. Back to.
Surprise,
yeah.
Speaking of guest stars on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., well, first of all, we have we talked about this. maybe last week or the week before, Adrian Pasdar from Heroes is going to be popping up as General Talbot, which I think is really cool. And Amy Acker, who is, she's been in a lot of Whedon stuff.
Yeah.
There's been
What?
It's Fred.
It's Fred.
Yeah. I mean, Whedon loves her.
Yeah.
She's gonna be. If he can get her in there, he will. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he's bringing. I mean, the Deathlock character. I mean, he was back on Angel. I mean, it's like there's so many actors that Whedon has a family, and Whedon loves his family, and he brings them in when he can. And I want to see Alexi. I want to see everybody.
I would not be surprised for Nathan Fillion to show up at some point.
Oh my God, yes.
But
no, he'd have to show up as a superhero. But I do have a small problem with this.
Okay.
Well, the character she's showing up at is Coulson's cellist.
Yes.
Now, if they do it in a flashback and all that, I'm fine. But if she finds out Coulson's alive, that's going to be a whole big, gigantic problem.
Yeah, it will. But at the same time, Amy Acker in Whedon stuff, she has this, not even just in Whedon stuff, in other stuff I've seen her in, she has this uncanny ability to play this innocent kind of background character that turns out to be this complete psycho. And I love that about her, and I'm kind of hoping that we see it's not just, she's the cellist. I'm hoping there's something deeper there, and I think with Whedon, there's got to be, so.
Well,
so
go ahead.
No, you.
No, I was just going to say, I am too. I mean, I want her to be kind of crazy. I mean, part of me wants her to be, sweet little innocent Fred, and then part of me kind of wants her to be Ilaria too. But, the thing there is the supposed secret, which they set up as, no one else can ever know, has been getting out a whole lot.
Yeah.
Half of S.H.I.E.L.D. knows. Sif knows now. She said she wouldn't tell Thor, but you know how that goes. She'll probably mention it to one of the Warriors 3 over a glass of mead, and they'll tell Thor, It'll get out to him third or fourth person, and then the Avengers will know.
Yeah.
And that kind of blows their whole, we set up to avenge Coulson. Well, guess what? Coulson's back, so you have no avenging spirit left here,
Although, I mean, I think because Sif knows and Coulson made that comment to her that I'd like to be the one to tell Thor, I think they're going to lead up to that point anyway.
Yeah, well, they're probably going to have to, and it's probably going to happen in Avengers 3, and they'll go, isn't this a merry bit of something, but, whatever.
Yeah. So, as long as we're talking Whedon and conspiracy theories and everything, I just want, this is total crap. I don't know that I even believe it, but if it ever turns out to be true, I want it down on audio somewhere. So, if you don't mind humoring me for like 30 seconds, I have this theory that, the character of Skye.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Whedon has always been a little hacked off of what happened to him at Fox and with Firefly.
Sure.
So, and the big takeaway statement that all of the Firefly fans have carried through the years is, you can't take the Skye from me.
Okay.
So my theory is the name of Skye was chosen because he feels like Avengers is something, this is his TV property that won't die, that he'll be able to hang on to. And even with the most recent episodes where Skye almost died, but comes back, you can't take the Skye from me. So just throwing that out there as a really silly out in left field. And this just occurred to me one night while I was drinking. So.
Pay special attention to the point of the statement where it was while I was drinking.
Yeah,
thank you. You're going to hear this statement a couple times. This leads to a whole story later. But go ahead.
That's awesome. That's a cool theory. That's interesting. Speaking of her actual character, I still feel like, especially if that blue alien is a Kree, I feel like she could be an Inhuman. I don't think they'll ever call her that or say that or confirm it like that, but that's kind of my feeling because we know there's something different about her.
Why not? Why not? Why not ground it? This is what I don't understand. I've got a point with the Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch thing. If we talk about the pictures that came out this week, and I'm sorry, yes, Grant, I'm going to go there, but why do we have to deviate? Why couldn't it have been AIM that was generating that freaking arm skeleton bracelet thing that's been the whole arc of season 1? Why you create a whole other villain organization?
Right.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think we've said that since the beginning. All of us.
No, we said it should have been AIM rather than Centipede or Hydra or somebody.
Yeah.
But I still say if she is Kree, she's going to have to be Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
I love it.
And I think he is Kree because Ronan is in Avengers.
Right. Yeah.
Or not Avengers, in Guardians.
Guardians, yeah.
Yeah, so everything's connected. That's one of their little hashtags on Twitter.
Yeah. What if she's Luna?
What if she's who?
Luna? Isn't that the daughter of the Inhuman little girl? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well, what, they went back in time, had a baby, and she grew up and became Luna?
I don't know.
Isn't that Quicksilver's daughter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was saying.
That would be odd.
Right, yeah. Okay, sorry. I got my mythology a little bit.
The Amy Acker, I wanted to make that point earlier too. Amy Acker being the cellist kind of blows that whole Vision Wanda kind of thing. But of course, we kind of knew that after they cast Scarlet Witch. So
I knew he was never going to be Vision.
I wanted them to be.
No.
See,
not the Vision type.
That's another thing. It's like, all the story elements were there for Coulson to be an LMD. I mean, why are we going down a different road? Or why it feels like we're going down a different road? It's just like, you could ground this so quickly in Marvel history. Why walk away from it so often? But
that Coulson is now an LMD?
That he died. He completely died.
Right.
If he's an LMD now, it takes away his importance in the show.
True.
Because if he's an LMD now, he gets killed, who cares? We'll just pull another one out of the closet, switch it on, brand new Coulson.
Yeah.
I like that. That makes the character even more interesting.
That makes
I
him
have now a vision of a closet full of Coulsons.
Yeah.
He could be the Jamie Maddox of S.H.I.E.L.D., where it's like, that Coulson developed a different personality, and this one's evil, this one collects stamps, and this.
Or we'll have to make like the old Mr. Wizard joke, we'll need another Timmy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A Coulson dies every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's live action South Park, but
exactly. That kind of doesn't allow him to have a great range of emotion as a character.
True. No, and I kind of like the fact that he's not, because it gave us something to, because that was kind of predictable if he was going to be an LMD. And in that episode where he finds the alien, I think everybody was like, oh, he just saw himself in there.
No, not even close.
No, I think a lot of people did, though. I think a lot of people thought that he saw himself and that confirmed that LMD thing until they showed.
Yeah, I did. I was with that. I was with that theory. Yeah, until they showed the blue alien.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah. No, if I had ever thought he was an LMD, it's when he was on the helicarrier. When he went to the armory, I could have made the point that he didn't go to the armory to get a gun. He went to the armory to get an LMD.
So the LMD died instead of him, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Coulson was fine.
Ah, okay.
Coulson was in some other room watching all this going on. That I could have walked away with.
Yeah.
But him being an LMD now, no, it takes the piss out of the character, as they say.
True.
Yeah.
And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would have been pointless if that had happened, because it'd be like, okay, what happened to Coulson? All of a sudden, we get towards the end of the season. Oh, that wasn't me. That was
that was just someone.
Yeah.
I've been watching you then.
And it invents its own problems there. And now, you've got Coulson for the people who are caught up, and for the people who aren't, too bad. Turn off the podcast.
No.
Coulson's
Stay.
about to go off the reservation here.
Yeah.
He and Sky are about to go off the reservation. And, start pursuing their own field of inquiry,
right,
as it were.
Mm-hmm.
So that we couldn't have had that if if he's a tinker toy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, I see your points. You make valid points. I was really rooting for the LMD theory, but just because I thought I was rooting for the story where it's that struggle. He was already they were telegraphing so well the struggle for humanity, feeling like he wasn't real, and I thought that exploration of that as a character could be very interesting, even to the point where maybe the real Coulson survived, and at the end of the season, the real Coulson walks back into the series, and the LMD we've been falling in love with over the whole season, is not the real Coulson. There could have been some twists there that I thought would be really interesting, but that's me being an amateur writer.
Go ahead, John.
In Westworld, Coulson not only comes back, but then he sings, "You can't take the sky from me."
Thank you.
Sky the sunset.
That's right, and then two of them fight over Sky, and Sky is just standing back there wringing her hands like in 1940s, Dance in Distress. I was going to say, I was pushing for the magic thing, because, for the longest time, they were talking about a Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
So I was pushing for a magical comeback. Mm-hmm. Or Scarlet Witch, if you want to be technical, but she's not really a witch, and we don't have to go into all that.
Right.
But I was hoping they would push that route.
Or we could have pissed off everybody in one shot and made it a deal with Mephisto.
Oh.
Yeah, there was
no.
Bring me back.
Yeah. We learned he used to be married. And
oh, come on.
He used to be married to the cellist, and now he's
not. Yes.
It just hurts.
It hurts. And then we could have the Coulson clone saga.
Oh, come on.
Multiple Coulsons walking around, and then the Red Skull takes over Coulson's body, and MODOK takes over Coulson's body, and everyone thinks Coulson's dead, but he's not really dead. He's trapped inside his body with MODOK.
Yeah. that reminds me. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go.
No, I was just going to say that reminds me of a stupid theory I saw on some comment somewhere. Somebody just randomly said, "I bet Robert Redford's the Red Skull," and I'm like, "Did you watch Cap 1?"
Yeah, exactly.
That's not Robert Redford.
Same guy who's been the villain in all the movies we love.
That's right.
What were you going to say, Chuck?
Robert Redford is a hate-monger. Don't you people know you're Captain America at all?
I was going to take
hate-monger, the clone of Hitler.
Yeah.
I was just going to take us down the dirty road, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's talk about these Scarlet Witch Quicksilver photos.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. New Balance, really?
Huh?
I said New Balance, really?
I know. Okay, so I received the same day that these come out, I get this challenge email, and we get this challenge email at CR, and I'm not going to go too deep into this, but Vivid Entertainment does these adult parodies of the superhero characters we know and love, and they did what I thought was a throw this out there, drop the mic, turn and walk away moment, which I loved, which was they didn't pimp any, and I used the word pimp on purpose, they didn't pimp any of their own movies. They basically just said, here is the Quicksilver we have already in an upcoming movie. We just want you to take this image of our costume and our character and compare it to what Marvel put out today and tell us which one's better. And I thought that was just, so I'm not endorsing their films or anything. It's just such a genius move because, if you put the two side by side, the porn version of Quicksilver is a perfect rendition of his costume. And if the porn industry can get this right, why can't Marvel? Why do we get a spandex running suit looking Quicksilver when there is a perfect, you can reward the fanboy. It's not like this is a nippled Batman outfit that we have to worry about all the nuances of why this would look good or look bad. This is a really simple outfit to get right. And I do not like the Quicksilver they showed today, and I cannot believe that Vivid Entertainment threw down and did win me and say, yeah, they got it right. Saying that's my rant for today.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, Fox is their Quicksilver for the X-Men film is much worse. You got to give that because it's like some 80s. I don't know what the heck it is, but this one it's not much better. Honestly, I agree. It just does not work. I don't know. I'm really hoping this is some kind of transitional outfit before like an official S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform or whatever. But yeah, I agree. It's not great.
I don't even mind the Under Armour shirt.
Yeah.
And the pants. That's not even really my problem.
Okay.
So obvious cross trainers.
Yeah.
It's not even ridiculous. I mean, that's why I'm calling him New Balance, because so obviously wearing cross trainers and that hair looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks like a wig. It really does.
It looks like a white wig on black hair.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Which he does have really dark hair in
He does have really dark hair, but they didn't even try to lighten it or anything like that from the looks of it.
No.
It just looks like they slapped a white mo wig on top of someone with dark black hair. It's like you just want to take that thing and spin it on the top of his head.
What'd you think about him, Frank?
I think that John's got a point. I'm waiting for Quicksilver to take off, and all that's left is that spinning wig in the air.
All right, so what about Scarlet Witch? I personally don't mind it.
I'm okay. It's not bad.
Yeah.
She looks too young to me, but I think,
Well, yeah, she is pretty young. Would you ever guess that she's the younger sister of the Olsen twins?
No, I would not have gotten that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That's her. That's Elizabeth Olsen.
Well, it's not. I mean, yeah, she looks young. I mean, still pictures with some of those hand movements look ridiculous. Like the kind of weird. I guess she's supposed to be doing a hex, but it just looks like she's like walking up an invisible wall or something. But I mean, the thing that really got me with that picture is they are pushing the gypsy aspect.
Yeah, they are
hard.
They are
so hard.
So.
And when did that become? When did that become cool? When was that what we were shooting for? But
yeah. And to have him not, I mean, to conversely have Quicksilver not look like that. They could have gone total gypsy boy, skinny scarf,
they could have.
vest, kind of hipster gypsy look that she's trying to pull off. And just not successful at all. I mean, she looks good and all that, but it's just kind of, wow, really? Come on.
I don't mind hers that much, though.
When I make these points, though, and I started this whole thing, when I make these points, though, I stand myself up on a crutch, and occasionally I'll knock it completely out from under me, because as much as I don't like Quicksilver, and I'm kind of okay with Scarlet Witch, the Falcon looks nothing like the comic book Falcon, but man, when I saw those metal wings pop open and I saw him take off in the sky, I got such a rush of excitement. Mm-hmm. And more than just the trailer, just to see, and that's such a deviation from the character, but I still felt, okay, there's Sam Wilson. I'm okay with that. And I don't know why I have that such difference between these two. Because Quicksilver bothers me to high hell, and the Falcon, I'm looking forward to seeing. So.
Well, and, to be fair, we haven't actually seen live footage of Quicksilver, with production behind it and everything. So maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll get a different film.
Literally.
Yeah. True.
Do you guys think that? Do you think Marvel has a little bit not to worry about? Because right now Marvel could take a big old crap and nobody would care because they've been so successful. But the fact is, with all these introductions of new characters in Avengers 2, and with a lot of them not having the stepladder storytelling to where you can just cut them loose in the movie without any background because they're being introduced, do you think that they run the risk of an X-Men 3 where there's too many characters?
I mean, it depends on how they're going to focus on each of them, because I don't know.
Marvel's held it together better than Fox. That's
true. But you have a good point. The first Avengers movie, we already knew all the characters except for maybe Hawkeye, which we only got a few minutes of him in the Thor movie. So they didn't really have to reintroduce anybody. I mean, introduce anybody. They just we kind of knew everybody from the previous films. So this one's going to be a little different because we're getting Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch for the very first time. We're getting Ultron for the first time. And whoever plays into that side of things and. I don't know. I know they're kind of teasing more FaceTime for Hawkeye in this one, which makes sense because, you go back to the original Avengers series and the Kooky Quartet with Cap and Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, so, which is, kind of a fanboy moment right there. But I don't know. It's possible, but I have faith in them.
I tell you, what I want to see more of is, forget every Hawk movie that's came before. The Hawk that was presented in the Avengers, put together by Joss Whedon, the actor who played Bruce Banner combined with the snarky, humorous take of the Hawk in that film. I want to see a Hawk movie done with that actor and with that attitude of the Hawk in there. That would be the runaway that I want to see. I thought Hawk stole the Avengers movie in a lot of ways.
Hey,
for me.
Chuck, he's my favorite character, but I'm going to tell you something. If they do not be the leader in that damn next Hulk movie, I'm going to jump off something.
They have to have the leader in it. They have to.
You know it's going to be Ringmaster. It's going to be Ringmaster.
In the Circus of Crime, of course.
I don't know. I'm still partial to Ed Norton in that role, but he was still Mark Ruffalo was still very good. So.
Oh my God! Just his attitude, especially when you interact him with Stark, was just phenomenal. I fell for that character in that movie. I thought it was awesome.
I was really hoping he'd pop up, even if it was just a cameo in Iron Man 3, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. Ed Norton's a better actor.
Yeah.
I thought and I'm sorry, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but the guy who played him in the Avengers movie, I thought he was a better Bruce Banner. I thought he was a better Bruce Banner.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, I think the thing what we were discussing before is hopefully they won't even try. Hopefully they'll let the story introduce the characters rather than feel the need to give us this gigantic backstory for every new character that pops up. I mean, it's bad enough with Ultron. I forget what thing it was, but they someone was lamenting, or someone within Marvel was lamenting about how they don't know how Ultron will come to be.
Yeah.
And I found myself screaming at the screen. It's like, you didn't put the guy who built him in the movie, you moron.
Yeah, you're putting that movie after that one comes out. That's brilliant.
It's real smart.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll just sort of come out the same way.
Unless they're just holding that back and it does end up being Hank Pym. Because we know in the Ant-Man movie Hank Pym is aged. He's not the one that's running around as Ant-Man. That's going to be Scott Lang.
Yeah, could Avengers introduce Hank Pym for the Ant-Man movie?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Maybe he could just be some guy working at Stark. It's like, Mr. Stark, I went beyond creating this robot you asked me, and I gave him sentience.
Yeah.
And now he wants to kill us all.
There's been enough teases, though. I don't think Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch certainly are coming in as Avengers or as heroes at the beginning. I think they're going to be introduced through the story as opposition that becomes part of the team.
That would play into the history of the Avengers. Definitely, that would make sense.
But they can't be mutants.
No, they are, but they won't call them that. They'll never.
Yeah, well, there is no obvious proof of mutants in the Marvel universe at this time.
Yeah. Well, Disney is not going to mess around with this. I still think we will see a united universe eventually. I mean, hell, they changed the patent copyright system. They changed the law of this country to accommodate Disney so that Mickey Mouse never enters the public domain.
Honestly,
Disney doesn't fuck around. They're gonna. Excuse me.
That's a catchphrase you'll never hear at Disney.
There you go.
That is the forget the Dark Emperor. Yeah, they own Star Wars. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't mess with Disney.
Yeah, and I honestly think, I mean, obviously Fox and Sony are going to try to hang on for dear life to those properties, though. And Fox, they've already kind of planted the seeds for another X-Men movie after this one, which is Apocalypse. They've already kind of announced that, so we know that's coming. After that, who knows, though? I mean, because all those actors are going to move on. Jennifer Lawrence is taking the year off. I'm sure Hugh Jackman's getting tired of playing Wolverine. So.
Well, he's already said in one thing that they're going to have to get someone else to play Wolverine soon.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think, I don't know. I think after this, maybe after this one or the next one, maybe Disney will make a move to get it back. I would like to see that.
I don't think they're going to make a move. I think it's going to be an act of Congress, honestly. I mean, Disney has the power.
We want our characters back. The mouse will come to your house.
They also have the money to say, hey, we're going to buy these from you.
Just go buy
them. Come on. As soon as they release the Star Wars movies, and, it's like, come on, Muppets, Star Wars, what don't they own out of our past? I mean,
a lot, yeah.
I mean, it's just like, come on.
They could literally become a monopoly someday. They really could.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, it's crazy. But in Sony, they've got so many big plans for the Spider-Verse with this, which I still think it's stupid to try to do a Venom movie and a Sinister Six movie, but whatever.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. These things turn on a dime, and aren't we thankful? Because we get to report on every dime.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., does it come back next week or the week after, John? John?
You missed his message. He sent you a message.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
He had to step away for a moment.
Okay, gotcha. So, does anybody else know when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I thought it was next week, but don't quote me.
Okay. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I have to tip my hat to Cinema Jaw, the podcast Cinema Jaw.
Mm-hmm.
They are genius, and just because of this moment, they have this thing they call the Jaw Box. And anytime as they're doing their show, they can't think of what they have a question that they don't want to take time to answer. They throw it in the Jaw Box, and they have a third guy on the show who's sitting there looking up everything. At the end of the show, they open the Jaw Box, and he comes out and tells them the answers to all the things they couldn't figure out during the show. It's freaking genius for a podcast, because that would be something we throw in the Jaw Box, and then this mysterious voice would come on at the end of the episode and tell us the answer. And it's beautiful.
That's kind of like what I used to do on Raymond, only I would just interrupt the guys. And they call
The voice of God, I remember that.
But, it does come back April 1st, so that's next week. And, So.
Yeah, you still see what I did there. I bought you time.
Yeah, you did. I know. I appreciate that.
Yeah. This is April 1st. That's all. I'm ready. I mean, I'm caught up, which I never am, and I'm excited for the new episodes. I mean, the Sith one was great. I was Bill Paxton, freaking incredible. The fact that he's coming back is good.
Paxton did a good job.
Yeah.
I thought the character, I loved him on Angel, but the actor, I thought he was kind of deadpan in the one who was in the opening episode. When they turned him into Deathlock, awesome. Here we go. Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm very excited, and I believe it's not going to take any more breaks now. It's going to be,
Yeah, they said it's a straight run to the finale.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
you know what though? You know what, Chuck? I was actually, you heard about some of the fanboy stuff. I can't believe that the talk for Cap 3 is that they're going to bring back Crazy Cap from the 50s, and then rumor has it that they got Baron Zemo to be played by Jaime from Game of Thrones.
Oh, wow.
The actor who plays Jamie. Have you heard that?
No, I hadn't heard that. Wow.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow, that's crazy talk. I like it.
But now you know what I'm talking about I'm talking about the Crazy Cat from the 50s, right?
Yeah.
Jeff Mace or something like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and
whoever was Super Patriot.
And I don't know. I have to agree with Chuck almost. I don't know how thrilled I am. Any more thrilled I can get that actually they're going to some of these think tank ideas from previous stories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sorry,
I'm a fan of Baron
Giraffe
Zemo.
moment.
Huh?
What did you say, Chuck?
Oh no, I'm a fan of Baron Zemo, so that kind of gets me excited. I mean, the crazy Cap, I could take or leave. I mean, that's just it's like the worst version of a Punisher ripoff in a lot of ways, but whatever.
I'm a fan of the more modern Zemo, not the original one.
Okay.
Right.
Well, they've set up that great Armzola thing in one, and then they should at least do something with that.
They should.
I mean, not make him a main villain, but at least make him, the guy who gets his butt kicked in the first 15 minutes of a movie.
Right.
Right.
I mean, we saw, they put out that 4 or 5 minute thing where we got we didn't get to see Batroc, but we got to hear about Batroc, the Leaper.
Mm-hmm.
Being the guy behind that ship that they're on.
Yeah. Although they would have to be really creative on how they brought Arnim Zola on, because I can't see them having a dude run around with a TV screen in his belly.
TV screen in his belly and that little webcam on top.
Even though they did tease that in the first Cat movie by showing him on the monitor, but yeah.
See, I want to see, like, I just want these random throw-ins from the Marvel Universe. Like, I want to see, as Coulson's having, like, an epiphany conversation moment, I want to see, like, Arnim Zola fly through the background with Fin Fang Foom chasing him down, just because if you're in the Marvel Universe... Huh?
You mean like a streaker?
Yeah.
There's Arnim Zola?
Yeah. I mean, they missed a perfect opportunity. How many grade B villains from Stiltman all down the line? When they had that first opening scene where they went into the restaurant and he was coming out as the waiter, and they were talking about it, they were counting down all these operatives heading towards them to try and get the stuff. I mean, good God, you could have thrown in like 15 grade B villains and just had them out the window, and you didn't even have to have them in the story, but just put them in the background where we see them as a fanboy throwaway, and he escapes and doesn't have to face any of them. That would have been the biggest freaking jaw drop kickoff to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was right off the bat where I felt like they missed the boat on just working in the Marvel Universe. Stan Lee, I don't know if you guys read his quotes from Zap to It, where he's talking about, that's what they're missing, is all that they have so much to play with, and bringing that larger Marvel universe in as part of what S.H.I.E.L.D. interacts with is, they don't have to go to the Fox properties. They've got, who doesn't own the Marvel Universe A to Z comics from the 80s? There's a hell of a lot of characters in there from Angar the Screamer on down the line that they could pull out and play with, if just to throw them away and kill them,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like they capture the Mad Thinker sitting on the John in some restaurant.
Yeah, thank you. I'll take it. The Purple Man is trying to wait tables. Whatever. Let's just do it. Bring it.
That said, I do wish that Marvel Studios owned Spider-Man and not Sony, just so we could see Spider-Man swinging by randomly.
Part of that, I worry about how much pushing credibility that would do, because if you have this going on next to you, how do you walk off and go do your story?
Yeah.
I mean, if your story is to go track down this guy, but you have the Stiltman over here, trashing the joint, it's like, oh, we can't go track down this guy right now. We have to deal with Stiltman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could have Stiltman out in the distance, and suddenly, Coulson's about to turn and go, oh, I must deal with this right now. Let's call in S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, wait. Oh, there's Power Man and Iron Fist. They got it. It's like, on with my story.
Wow.
Oh, Lord, that would be hilarious, though.
Yeah, I know.
No, it'd be funny and it'd be cool for us, but I think it would just push credibility.
Yeah. And I so wanted that actor in the first episode to be called Luke. I wanted him to be Luke Cage so bad.
Yeah, I
know. I told Bill that. I was like, come on, it's got to be Luke Cage. Nope, it's not.
No.
Well, they couldn't have made him Deathlock if they had made him Luke Cage.
That's true.
Yeah. Even if he just had a belt that like had chain woven through it, just to give us that tease. Even if they don't make it, it's just play with
or
the
a yellow shirt that he ripped off 5 seconds into the version.
They may have known about that whole Netflix thing though at that point, and they're really
That's
like,
true.
We'll just wait, just have faith in us.
What do you guys think about that? I'm excited.
I am too. Yeah.
I'm pumped.
I can't wait for it.
I think it's a great way to use 2 different venues to experiment between what characters will work on a smaller setting to a movie setting.
Yeah. Plus, if I hope this really doesn't happen, but I don't see that it would. But if the Netflix things don't work out and they don't, blow people away or whatever, no harm, no foul, because they're not tied to the rest of the stuff. But if they are a success, they could tie them together. So.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is, I'm excited for them. I want them to happen already.
Yeah,
because the news has been out for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, there's no sight yet on when it'll actually happen.
Right.
People have short memories,
True.
especially as far as entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
People have real short memories, and if they don't get on the ball with these, people, they're going to get this big. Yeah, I mean, they're going to get this big lack of superhero thing. It's like they may have been excited with the first announcement, but if it takes 3 years to get there, the excitement's going to wear off.
At the same time, one thing I do like about the new feature of Netflix is when you go on, whatever their major feature is, like when House of Cards Season 2 first came out, they pop up this giant banner at the top of your screen. Yeah. And it's like, this is on now, go watch this. And I think, that is a very advantageous thing for them, because when they do, launch these, it's going to pop up, Daredevil, watch right now, so I think that's cool.
I hope they do, because they've been a little lax on saying when new things are out.
Mm-hmm.
The new release button gets pushed further and further down the page, at least on my Netflix.
True, yeah.
It keeps showing me stuff similar to the stuff that I watched before.
Right.
Rather than showing me what's new. So it balances both directions, sadly.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's just, it is all so freaking exciting. And you know what has me the most excited? You know what has me most excited? I have not seen Iron Man 3, the second Thor movie, or the second Wolverine movie, and I have them all to watch. Yes. And I'm ready. I'm going to blitz through these. I've got a Marvel experience like nothing coming. I'm so excited.
1 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah. save Thor 2 for last. Seriously.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Save it for last, because that movie is so good.
It will reaffirm your faith after the other 2.
Iron Man 3 has some flaws. Like I said, it's not. I liked it a lot better than you did, John. Don't forget.
I have not seen it, but they had me at Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
They're
going to lose you at Ben Kingsley, too.
That's okay. I'm ready for a snarky Mandarin, because I don't know, I haven't seen, I can't judge, but the Mandarin in those last issues before they rebooted Iron Man into the crap Iron Man that it's been over the last 9 months or so, when they were writing those deep Iron Man stories, and the Mandarin was like this crazy, losing his mind, slapsticky, you never knew what was coming next character, and I think that's what they tried to, if I understand correctly, tried to emulate a little bit in the film, and I'm a little bit more okay with that than I think, but we'll see.
After you watch that film, Chuck, and I hope, please watch that before you're on the show next.
So I can eat my words.
I want to talk to you about it and see what you thought about what they did with the Mandarin.
Okay, you got it. I will watch it. I'm catching up fast on these.
Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, if they pull a Deadpool with him, and I hate Deadpool, but man, I cannot tell you how much that disturbed me what they did with Deadpool in the first Wolverine movie. But anyway, oh my god.
Yeah. We're not even going to talk about that movie. That movie was a train wreck.
Okay, you got it. Yeah. So, sorry, didn't mean to derail there.
No, it's fine. I want to talk to you after you watch all three of those, but yeah, definitely I got to get your opinion on that one.
I'm on this buzz. Like, I'm hunting down all the old. I'm trying to build a full collection of all the superhero movies that have been out there. So, like, I've been watching the old Christopher Reeve stuff. Yes, I even went and got the Zone 4 Be Damned Ghost Riders. You know, the what's his name? The actor that you guys always hate.
Yeah, we don't mention him on this show.
I know. But I mean, like, the Schwarzenegger Conans, the old Red Sonjas. I mean, I've been just obsessed with tracking down all the old superhero movies. So anyway, this has been my thing lately. So
tell me you did not go track down Spawn.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, I even got Spawn.
I still hold. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but to me that is the absolute worst comic book movie ever made.
Oh.
And that includes the 70s stuff. I'm sorry.
Have you seen? Wait. Okay, wait.
Come on.
Now, I've got a couple to challenge. Did you see the made-for-TV Nick Fury movie?
I did.
Or the Fantastic Four movie they put together just to hold on to the rights?
With the helmet?
Yeah. Okay, wow. And that even you see that's worse. Okay.
I hate that movie so much. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
But to be fair, I'm not a Spawn fan. I don't like the character. I don't.
Okay.
So it kind of I'm a little biased. So.
Like, I've been checking out the Max, the old MTV animated series,
and
just everything I can get a hold of that's comic properties in film. I'm just trying to build this perfect collection here. So we're working on this. So.
Digitally.
Yeah. But it surprises me the films I've forgotten, like the Conan movie. It's like, how could I have forgotten that? But it's out there. It's just like those early ones.
You can forget Conan the Destroyer. So.
Oh, yeah. But he does punch a camel. Come on. Or was that the first movie he punched a camel?
That's the first movie.
Too bad. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Was there a King Conan movie that eventually came out too from it, or not? I don't remember.
The Jason Momoa reboot that was around for about 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So many.
Yeah. There's a lot of comic movies out there.
I know. Just been discovering a lot of action adventure stuff lately. I'm sorry, I'm totally going off topic.
No,
what was the one? Oh gosh, one of the most perfect movies, and I forget. Not National Treasure. That's crap. The one with. He played George of the Jungle. What was the actor's name?
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser. What's the movie he did? The Mummy. The Mummies. I watched one of those the other night. I love that first Mummy movie. I will own that. That is such a freaking amazing movie.
It is.
It is like the perfect D&D movie. That is a perfect organized D&D group. If you've ever seen one. I mean, anyway, sorry. Okay.
Oh Lord. Yeah. No. I love the Mummy movies. But, yeah.
Okay. Rants aside, I'm done. I apologize.
Except for the third one.
I didn't even hate the third one.
Yeah. It's better. It's better than a punch in the eye.
I'm a lot more forgiving to movies, I think.
I am too. I can find something I like in a lot of movies. But, yeah.
All right, so with that done, I don't think we have anything else to talk about Marvel films, except for we're just all really excited for Cap 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy, which we haven't even talked about.
Oh my God! Oh, thank you. I mean, that trailer, I about wet myself. That was just great.
Well, before we talk about that,
literally Chester, if you spill a drink on your lap, Chuck.
No, it was literally. Please do that to him. You should have seen him during Lord of the Rings. It was.
Oh my God! Yes.
It was sad.
Oh, I'm Groot.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to that movie, though. It just looks so good.
When I saw that little short clip where Groot is turning and Rocky Raccoon is spraying the room with the Uzi on his shoulder, I mean, I was like an 8-year-old schoolgirl squealing. I mean, it was just so beautiful.
Yeah. It's going to be so good. It's a
very smart trailer. Very, very smart trailer.
Yep.
It is. It won a lot of hearts. Definitely.
Speaking of good trailers, I don't know if you guys saw the latest X-Men Days of Future Past one.
Yes. Oh my God, that trailer got me excited.
Yeah, finally. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that one got me. Somehow I missed the news that both Xavier's and both Magneto's were in this, so that was kind of a surprise to me.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, they're converging, all of them. I think they stood, at Comic-Con, they had them all stand on stage together, and it was like, they were wall to wall, the cast for this movie. It was crazy.
25 people in the bloody thing. What do you expect?
Yeah, well, except for Rogue, which she got completely cut out. But
well,
she was only in one, like,
enough.
Yeah, she was only in one tiny scene, and they cut her. But that trailer, all the trailers up to that point were just so boring and just kind of talking and this and that. But this one had a lot of the action. You got to see the Sentinels. You saw Iceman on the ice slide.
Oh yeah, that was nice. That was real nice, and he looked good. I thought that was a really good rendition.
Yeah. So now I'm kind of excited for it. Yeah,
me too.
It's restored my faith in it. So.
But you know, the First Class thing. I mean, I set aside all expectations of continuity. I kind of liked it. I enjoyed that film when I saw it.
I did too.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. I mean, and normally the continuity freak in me would like tear it to pieces, but I've gotten to the point where I set it aside. And even setting aside all continuity, the first Wolverine movie still just tore my heart out. But.
I don't think you can set continuity aside in that movie though. Really.
I know.
The first half, I'll say the first third of that movie was good.
Yeah, well, when they were tossed around the history, they were doing pretty good. But, you know, I mean, who covers over the mouth of Deadpool? I mean, that is his whole shtick.
I know.
That's like trying too hard to screw up.
That's the only interesting thing about the character.
Yes.
And they ruined it.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God. I kept expecting him to cut it open and just begin talking again, just for fun. But, oh well.
It was like, I just don't.
The factor keeps closing it.
Yeah, I just don't get that. How, I mean, they had him perfect in the first 5 minutes of that movie.
Yes, they did. Yeah, that first sequence where he was tearing through the room, that was
that was perfect Deadpool right there.
Yeah. Ah, well.
Oh well, we get Deadpool and Green Lantern, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But not Green Lantern and Green Lantern.
Yeah, well,
I still think rather than Green Lantern, they should have gone with the original role he was proposed for. I think he would have made a great Flash.
Yeah.
I think that should have been his role, and that was the earliest hint of him as an actor for a potential role. Long before Deadpool and Green Lantern, they were hinting at him being Flash, and I thought that would have been a good casting because he's snarky enough to be not a Wally West Flash.
Yeah, definitely Wally West.
Yeah, I was about to say only if he was Wally, not Barry.
Yeah, not Barry, but anyway.
Yeah.
So cool. Marvel movies, yay.
One more question for you, Chuck, because I know John hates it and doesn't want to see it and never wants it to exist.
I cannot freaking wait for the next Amazing Spider-Man.
Thank you.
That trailer has me so happy. I loved it, but I was not Brant, we've had long discussions about the first trilogy, and we're not going to go back down that road, but I just will say I like this version a lot better.
Yeah. I do too, and I
know Brant. I know John thinks it's destroying his youth, and it's insulting, and I appreciate that. But I can admit there was something in that first movie, and it's not the greatest Spider-Man movie. I think he's a better Peter Parker for me. Yes, he is the skateboard Peter Parker, but at the same time, there was something in that was just fun, and when he was swinging down the streets. And it gave me that old Ghostbusters feel of kind of a fist pump moment. And I wasn't looking for deep Dark Knight drama. I was looking for something that just felt entertaining. And there was something when he was swinging down the streets and the construction workers are coming out that took me back to 80s storytelling a little bit and gave me that kind of rush of little pleasure that the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and other things did, that it was there, and I haven't felt that in a superhero movie. They've all gone so grim, and this was a little playful at times, and that gave me hope that we could have both and still preserve both feels in a film.
Yeah. But it took an hour to get there.
I didn't mind that journey. I don't know, for me, I always had a problem with Tobey, even though I love those movies. I really did love the first trilogy. But the problem I always had with Tobey was I felt like he was a really good Peter Parker, geeky side Peter Parker. But he was never a great Spider-Man. Just when he delivered the jokes and the snark and stuff, it just did not come out right for me. It was just like his delivery was a little bit flat for me as Spider-Man.
He's a great actor, but he is a single actor. He is Tobey Maguire. He is not Peter Parker. He delivered a role that was Tobey Maguire in every other thing Tobey Maguire's ever done. He is that slightly distant, slightly disassociated. Oh, there's something going on in the room. I'm emoting again. It's just he was Tobey Maguire. He wasn't Peter Parker for me. This kid was Peter Parker, and that's my difference. Yeah, and that's personal. That's not that. I don't think that necessarily says they were good or bad movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
It is
proudly.
It's amazing though as these new batch of films come out, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the first Spider-Man trilogy also, but isn't it weird that even though it's only been 10 to 14 years ago, they do seem to feel a little dated, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. I agree.
I think it's because I think it's because of the Marvel Studios films and even the Dark Knight trilogy, the 2000 films, X-Men, Spider-Man, everything that came out around that time just feels dated and different because those two groups of films just raised the bar so much. It changed everything for superhero films. So I don't know.
But man, talk about the total inverse. Go to the other side of the fence for DC. They still can't get a Christopher Reeve like Superman. They still can't pull off that emotional resonance that Christopher Reeve brought to the role. Sure. They try and they try again. But man, I watched one of those early Superman movies and it's just like, damn. There's humanity there that we just haven't seen.
Yeah, I guess. I think that's maybe why they went a different direction though. And I actually liked Men of Steel, so.
Okay. I cannot say because I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
I have to watch. That's one I gotta watch.
It's definitely different. It's not that. They made a Superman to fit into a Batman world, I think. So.
I gotcha. Yeah. Now, if we start down the Superman-Batman road, we'll be here a whole another hour.
Yeah, definitely. We'll save that for another episode. This was the Marvel episode. We'll save
You got it.
All right, so we should wrap things up. We've been going for a while here. So, as we do before we close out the show each and every week, we go around the table and see what everybody has coming out, and going on. And Chuck, I know you're chomping at the bit, so I'll let you just start.
My God, you're gonna start with the big mother load. Okay.
Oh, well, we can go the other way around if you'd rather.
No, I've got three big things to talk about, and I'll keep them as brief as I can. But first of all, I have three announcements basically. The first one relating directly here to comic related, and relating back to that story that I told you there'd be something else in the podcast that referenced me getting drunk. I was sitting and I was having a couple beers in the afternoon the other day, and John and I were talking, and I looked back and I noticed that there hadn't been a related recap in a couple months. And I know, Brant, you've gotten busy, Chris has been tied up, and no disrespect intended whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But I also noticed that this coming Friday marks 6 years since I started podcasting, and it's the 6th anniversary of the related recap is this Friday. Wow. So I was drinking a little. I had a couple beers. I flipped on the recorder and I recorded about 15 minutes of audio. And that's not really going to be an episode, but I'm going to use it, I think, first I need to listen to it. But being on Zone 4 did kind of inspire me that I missed comic podcasting more than I knew. I really enjoyed when I was on here 7 weeks ago, and I've enjoyed thoroughly tonight. So I'm not making any promises, but I will tell you this Friday there is going to be a related recap podcast. The first one I've done solo in a long, long time since I stopped at episode 300. So I don't know what that means for the future, but I do know that I have talked to somebody about doing an interview potentially for next week. So
awesome.
We may very well see the return of the related recap.
That's huge.
Oh, very good.
which I'm very excited about because I feel like I want to get back into talking a little bit to indie and small press and start shining that spotlight once again, which I haven't been able to do in a long time. And I feel like I've got room. I probably don't have room in my life to do it, but I'm going to try anyway. So, second announcement, everybody knows I'm part of Derby City Comic Con. We just signed the ink on Derby City Comic Con Presents Cavalcade of Comics. That is a second convention that I'm going to be putting on in 2014. It's going to be that weekend right before Thanksgiving, and the ink is so wet, I don't even have the date in my head. I've been telling everybody it was the 15th, and that was actually the wrong week. That's the Saturday before. And, Bran, I hear you clicking. What is the Saturday after the 15th of November?
The 22nd.
Thank you. Saturday the 22nd. The same location where they do the Louisville Arcade Expo and where Conglomeration takes place. It is about half the size show floor of Derby City Comic Con. That would put it at about 25,000 square feet. We're going to do ring the entire room of local and regional comic creators. We're going to fill the middle part of that show floor with comic vendors, toy vendors, and merchandise vendors. It is 1 week roughly before the start of Black Friday and the holiday buying season. It's going to be halfway to Derby. Table prices for vendors and creators will be half the price of Derby. Entry to get in will be $5, so it'll be really cheap to get in. And it'll all be regional people who want to sell you wonderful things to kick off the holidays. So come get your geek on with Derby City Comic Con, and we will have a major show to let you come play with for the first time, halfway to Derby.
Very cool.
Oh, nice.
And the third thing that I have to say is my other podcast that I do is the Charlie Tonic Hour with the wonderful Jenny Tonic. We do the Charlie Tonic Hour on Wednesdays and Bottoms Up, a short shot alcohol to kick off your weekend, on Fridays. And the two of us together, her mainly, me kind of following along, started a company called Tonic Tours. And we just learned today that Tonic Tours was Cincinnati City Beat's 2014 staff pick for local tours. So we took home a pretty big award here in Cincinnati for the tours that Jenny's been putting on of microbreweries and distilleries here in Cincinnati. So it's been a big freaking week for us on a whole lot of fronts. So awesome. A lot of it just happening today.
Sweet. Very cool.
So huge things, and I'm still going to be trying my best to write on a regular basis for comic related and everything else I do in a day.
And I assume the recap is the one that you're going to submit to Comics Podcasts?
Yes, it sure is.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can't talk about frequency because I don't know yet, but man, you know, when I start back on a podcast, I immediately want to go weekly, but let me see what I can do. Yeah. All I can tell you right now is I've got audio for a Friday, no guest, it'll just be a commentary kind of thing, and I've got, as soon as I hear back, potentially a guest for next week's show. So there you go.
Awesome. Very exciting stuff.
And all of that announced for the first time on Zone 4.
Yeah.
I haven't talked about that anywhere else yet. So
Zone 4 exclusive.
You got it.
Awesome.
Okay,
Frank.
I step away from the mic now.
Okay. Frank, what do you got going on?
Well, yeah, you would make me follow up that. I don't have nearly as much going on like that. However, got a Gem City next weekend, which we, of course, we participate in the auction for the, Heroes Initiative. Sean Forney's branch, which is the Heroes. I always confuse it with the Heroes Initiative, but it's the Heroes, it's that. Yeah, I'm plugging it really good. Well, we do the charity auction there, and then, of course, I'm participating in a few other panels at Gem City. Jesse always runs a good show. And then, to make it for last year, I'm going to DerbyCon, Chuck's Derby. I went to Lexington a couple of weeks ago and saw Chuck down there. I'm hitting these more conventions than I have before. And the other thing that's going on, Brant, is we will do the KISS version of podcast. We'll be doing at some point another Rain Man show. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, in between that, or later on, planning for Champion City later on in the year.
Awesome. And I do want to say that comic related will be set up at Gem City Comic Con. We were talking about C2E2, but Gem City is the next show on our schedule, so we will be there. And Frank, as quoted on Facebook, I do expect you to be at Derby with bells on.
Oh, yes.
You said you would have bells on, so I'm looking for that bell. You better. I want to see the ding when you get there, baby.
Wait. Be careful how you say that, Chuck. That's about it, Brant.
Okay. John?
Well, sadly, my personal and professional life is an absolute dismal, deep hole of nothingness. Except for the River City Comic Expo, held May 10th from 10 to 6 at the Mid-City Mall in Louisville, Kentucky. We will have a lot of regional and crafty creators there for your dining and buying pleasure. Come check us out. It is absolutely free to the public, with all proceeds from all sales, with the exception of those of the individual vendors, going to the Fund for the Eyes, which is a charity that helps the blind and visually impaired in Jefferson County and Louisville. Other than that, I've got nothing.
I so pictured in my head a commercial with like a guy just down, and then all of a sudden this announcement comes up and he just cheers up.
No, and all jokes aside, come to that, please come to that and support the charity. Also, I'll be at Gem City. I'll be at C2E2. I won't be at Space because Chuck tricked me into going to Conglomeration instead. That's right. Yeah, he did. And
I will be in Space. No,
he will be in Space. I won't be in Space. And beyond that, we'll be elsewhere.
Okay.
Absolutely. Definitely. And one other question that I know is going to be the first thing that I get hit with, because I didn't answer that question in advance here. Registration for the second show will open the day after Derby.
Cool.
Table registration, that is. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
Let's just slip a few bucks at the show, and then
No, do not say it. I had a guy who called my home 10 times last night, literally. And there were 10 missed calls. I had it on silent because he was wanting to know if there's a table available at Derby City this year. And no, we sold out in 9 days back in December. But I could not believe this guy, like every 15 minutes, he would call again and call again and call again. Wow. It's interesting.
And that was Brant.
It was Brant, actually. He really wants
to. Did he think he was calling San Diego Comic Con?
No.
You know those ringback?
Now, it's pretty amazing because my number isn't out there that deep.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I did find out that the convention center does give it out, but
oh, wow.
Oh yeah, that guy. I think
which I'm cool with.
You know those ringback tones?
Uh-huh.
I think you just need to put "Let It Go" from Frozen on there.
I think by the end of last night, I thought it was Baby got ringback, but. Okay.
All right.
No, it's just shocking when you stop watching something, you flip on your phone, like, oh my god. Yeah. Anyway.
Sure, those weren't calls from your mom.
No. She knows how to get me. She'll just call.
Yeah.
She calls Jenny. I think she's even got.
You want to answer the phone? I'll call the other one.
I think she's even got one of the mini Tonics phone numbers. So,
I was about to say, if she really couldn't get a hold of you, I would have heard.
She'd call you, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get a hold of Charles?
She's done that before.
Yeah. She has.
Nice. All right, so for me, I might as well say this because you both talked about those. I will be at River City Comic Expo and Derby City Comic Con, so you can come see me at those shows.
Awesome.
Better coming out there and freak your legs.
I know. I'm fearing for my life, so I'm showing up at these shows.
Okay.
No, it's going to be a blast. It's been a while. Been a long while for me, so looking forward to it and hanging out with everybody. So come to Louisville. You can see me. Finally. And also, next week, is Zone 4's 5-year anniversary. So back to back with the recap 6-year anniversary. So that's awesome. Didn't even realize that. But yeah, so Zone 4's 5-year anniversary. If everything goes according to plan, we'll have this big, huge episode coming next Friday, which means I'll be recording a lot over the next week. So we'll see what happens.
I wanted to tell you, I'm not available at all.
I will kill you now, John. But also, the following week is Hall of Toys' 1-year anniversary, so lots of anniversaries going on in the comic-related podcast family here. Also, one of our other co-hosts, Mike Luoma, his 300th episode of Glow in the Dark Radio is coming up later in the month of April as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so all kinds of huge stuff going on, so be on the lookout for all that. It's a big celebratory month. And, of course, this is, October is Comic Related's 10-year anniversary, so it's just a big year for us all across the board. So, and
my God, we've been doing this a decade.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
Also, over on Comic Frontline, we're doing the Buffy Challenge, which Dark Horse put out to, press and media outlets last week. They didn't give very much time to do this. Very, very little time because the deadline's April 2nd. So the challenge was to review the entire series of Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV series and comic, and if you want to, add Angel and Angel and Faith to that as well. So you're talking 12 seasons of shows, three seasons of comics. It's a lot to review. But we took up the challenge. We've already started it. There are already videos on Comic Frontline. There's going to be written articles on the site. We're going to post it all on Comic Related as well. So we're just having fun with it. This Saturday we're doing a Media Madness where we're actually going to be watching 2 episodes of Buffy. We're watching Once More with Feeling and The Body. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, those are 2 weird episodes put together.
They are.
Throw in Hush. Throw in Hush just for fun.
Throw in Hush for fun? Okay.
Yeah, the silent episode, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
Hush and Once More with Feeling might go together a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you see Abe Sapien floating through the scene.
we actually did joke about doing Hush. So it's funny you mentioned that.
I love it. It's an iconic episode from the series. Yeah.
So we definitely had to do Once More with Feeling, though.
Gosh, yes, yeah.
We were going to do
I was about to say, I can answer any question Dark Horse has about that episode.
Well, would you like me to start
That's the only
singing for that? Yeah, I can do it.
You never know. We could just bring out the song on this Media Madness. It's going to be a live video show, so.
I seriously, there was a point where I knew that episode so well I could almost go through the whole episode. But,
nice.
Yeah. I found out when I was rewatching the Rankin Bass Hobbit with the mini tonics that I absolutely can go through that one, quoting every line. But
wow.
Yeah.
Nice. It's funny. I haven't even watched Buffy season 5 yet, but I've seen Once More with Feeling like 3 times.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. But yeah, so all kinds of cool stuff going on in the comic related family, we should say. So
awesome. All
right, so who wants to close us out? Anybody? Any takers? Any offering?
Oh heck yeah!
You gotta Chuck to it.
All right, Chuck, go for it.
Always. Okay. We'd like to thank our sponsor once again, Audible.com. Go to audibletrial.com/Zone4podcast for a free 30-day trial and book download. And C2E2, April 25th through the 27th. Learn more at C2E2.com. We'd like to thank our official bands of Zone 4, the Ray Wall Band and Society's Plague, that you hear on the show each and every week. If you have comments, questions, or suggestions for us, send them to zone4@comicrelated.com. We are also proud members of the Comic Podcast Network. As always, thank you for listening. We are now leaving Zone 4.
Bye, everybody.
This is only a test for the X-Men.
Hello?
Hey, Frank.
You know, that's great timing. The theme from Shaft just happened to come on when you called. That's uncanny, Brant.
Well played.
Hi, John, as we all say.
Hello.
John, I just get all tingly picturing you with a thong on right now and all greased up ready for this podcast.
How'd you know?
That's what took me so long.
Sounds like, where's the camera at?
I couldn't find the right color.
Outstanding.
Because it's Wednesday.
Outstanding. But I gotta admit, that's Swamp. I don't know if you're reading Swamp Thing at all, but my God, the last couple months, I tweeted Charles S.H.I.E.L.D, who's writing it, and we kind of got in a little Twitter conversation behind the scenes because I was just like, it's as good as Alan Moore's stuff was. It just really is strong.
Yeah, I read the first 2 issues when Scott Snyder was writing it, and I didn't like it. I couldn't stand it. So I skipped it altogether, and then DC sent me Volume 3, which was the Rot World stuff. And I read through that, and I was like totally immersed with it. I thought it was brilliant, and I want to follow up after that. So I can imagine it's probably still really good. So
the Rot World was good. What came next when Cedar comes in? There's a little bit of Cedar is Jason Woodrow, the Floronic Man from the old DC.
Okay.
But Cedar comes in, and there's this Constantine story, which is fairly good, but not great. As soon as that's done, he challenges the Swamp Thing for the Avatar of the Green, and from that point forward, it is probably the greatest Swamp Thing storytelling I've seen since Alan Moore was doing it.
Oh, wow.
It's just incredible. And the art is freaking amazing. It's so much better than it was, and Charles S.H.I.E.L.D is just killing it writing it. So it's taken over just about my number 1 spot for DC right now.
Oh, wow.
Surprised me to no end.
Yeah. I'll definitely have to check that out.
I'm partial, though, because I'm a huge Swamp Thing fan, so to give me anything that's... If it were halfway decent, I'd love it, but in fact it's great, just knocks it out of the ballpark. But,
yeah.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production.